Alright, welcome to the recap. I'm gonna explain my trade and my thought process behind it. So, there's a lot of drawings on here, but this is on the daily. We had this daily gap. I just want to see longs out of this. We still have these equal highs up here. Yeah, was pretty bullish. We had this 4 hour that we hit pretty much during pre-market, and we rebalanced this 4 hour range here. And then we had, it looked like a pretty obvious AMD here to me. We had all these highs, and then my draw was Asia high here. And I just want to see this 4 hour gap and 4 hour range hold. So it's pretty much same idea on ES. We didn't rebalance the 4 hour range all the way, but we did hit the 4 hour gap and the daily gap. And then we still had all these highs up here. Asia high is pretty much my draw. So I waited for 10 a.m. And what I wanted to see is for 10 a.m. to trade lower into this 15-minute gap. We also had this 1 hour rejection block right here, which aligned pretty nicely with this 15-minute gap. And then this range right here. We also had this 15-minute order block here. So this would have been really nice if 10 a.m. opened lower, because we still have the draws up here. We still have London high here. And then we still have some highs on ES. And we also had equal highs right here. So I pretty much, this is what I wanted to see, is this. Just, oop. Right? But what happened is 10 a.m. didn't really give an entry. It came a little bit lower and then just traded higher like this. So then we sweep out Asia high, London high, all of this, and we just leave the gaps here. And once I saw this, I wasn't sure if this is going to be the manipulation for the 1 hour candle and we're just going to continue higher like this to maybe this 4 hour gap. So I just waited for 10:15 and see what was going to happen. All right, so we swept out a lot of highs, and I didn't really want to short this. This was like really difficult to short because obviously, we're coming out of this 4 hour gap and we're just ripping. But I kind of considered maybe we get something like this. Maybe this 1 hour is going to flip. So this is going to be the manipulation for the 15-minute candle. And then this here is going to be the manipulation for the 1 hour candle. And then we'll come back down like that. Because we did have some unfilled gaps. Right, we had the 15-minute, we had this little 5-minute here. And there was pretty much not much manipulation below 10 a.m. Also, ES was pretty much just chopping. And I didn't really think ES was just going to continue higher because it's just sweeping the lows, coming back inside the range. So I figured maybe we sweep out Asia high, then come back inside this range. So I wanted to see a 3-minute rejection block for an entry. And then on top of that, we had this 1 hour rejection block right here, which is out of this 1 hour gap. And this 1 hour rejection block isn't really that good because there's an unfilled 4 hour gap right above this. But I still marked it out and figured we could still get a small reaction out of this. Or we just continue higher, hit this gap. But we did have inside of here this high that I want to see get swept. I think we swept that. I don't remember. But yeah, waited for a good 3 minute. So this 3 minute, okay, so we sweep this high. This 3 minute closed bullish. And then we get this one. So this is pretty much just out of this 1 hour rejection block. And then ES also swept Asia high. So I entered on this. And this was kind of scary, not gonna lie. And then I just took this to this 5 minute. In my entry, I hesitated, honestly. I didn't even limit this. I market ordered. So my entry wasn't the best. But here it is. It also looked kind of choppy on the 1 minute, so I was a little nervous, but it made sense. So I took this, and then I went break even right when ES hits 10 a.m. So pretty soon. And this delivered pretty quickly. So that's the trade that I took. And yeah, this looks so bad. Wow. But I think this 1 hour, it doesn't know what it wants to do. We'll see if it flips bearish. Well, actually, I think it's going to be bullish. So this pretty much, this trade was just a little retracement. Yeah. So yeah, that's the trade. It made sense. I think it was a valid trade. It would have been a lot nicer to catch longs instead of just catching this small retracement. And this was like kind of sketchy. But yeah, it looks like ES actually came down to this 1 hour rejection block here. So yeah, pretty choppy. It's what, the day before NFP. So I wasn't expecting too much today. But open gave the best move right here, but it was not really an entry for this. Unless you just market ordered here. But yeah, not a bad day. Alright. See you in the next one.